Good day, friends, and welcome to episode 16 of the Seablock. We're going to begin this episode by expanding our power array with the last four generators we're missing. Because, guess what? We're already at the end of our power production already. So, we're going to start with some routine I already painfully got used to. So, I'm going to set up a new cluster of Algae Farms. I considered between this episode and the last one to switch over completely to the tier 2 algae production recipe, which will ultimately produce no brown balls at all. But I made up my mind and I decided to first complete the array with the tier 2 with the tier 1 production, and then upgrade the whole array to the tier 2 production. Not like if I would swap over to the tier 2 production right now, I would try to expand the array and upgrade it at the same time. And while that might be not really a problem at all with my usual Factorio experience, with Seablock I'm reluctant to do things like that because I'm a little bit afraid of doing something badly because I overcomplicated it too much. I don't know if that makes too much. If that makes sense somehow, but maybe to put it like that, combining these two efforts at once, like expanding and upgrading, I'm afraid that something bad will happen between that. Something which will lead to more work in the end, and I want to avoid that because there are so many byproducts to keep in mind, and I'm going to show you the calculations I already prepared for the tier 2 production chain, but we're going to do that somewhere in between. But as soon as I've dropped off the last few units of land, 1, 2, 3, yeah, we're almost there. I'm going to show you what I was talking about. So for this kind of production, I've already set it up here, we're going to need carbon dioxide and mineralized water to produce the green algae. Mineralized water is the same stuff we produce our ore from, so we would basically need a duplicate array like these. Well, they're right now not on the radar. I would need an electrolyzer array, and additionally to that, algae farms, but a lot less of them. So another thing there is, to produce carbon dioxide, I would need charcoal. So the next step would be another algae farm to produce, set up a charcoal production, and that was the point where I realized that just expanding that array with the last few ovens that are missing would be the much easier choice, and that's why I went with that. So those were my thoughts while I was sitting on my island, my Factorio island. Yar! I love this mod, seriously. Seablock is the idle game experience of Factorio. Seriously. So I'm starting to stockpile that iron, my friends. We're getting somewhere. Let's check it out. Oh, come on. I need to drop down some radars, but I don't have the energy. I mean, radars need. Yeah, well, I do have the energy. Come on. Don't be like that to yourself. Okay. So that's better. You couldn't even count the algae farms down there. I'm needing 3 and 7 more. Okay. There we go. So that's done, and after that I'm going to upgrade the assembling machines, or, well, produce much more. So since I don't have any materials right now, I'm going to get up there, and the next interesting question will be, where will I produce more cellulose and wood pellets. I don't think that I have any room as of yet to do that, so I think I might be adding up some land over here to make that happen. This island is growing rapidly. Like, we're already considering with what I started here, we are growing and growing. So this place I turned now to a permanent brick factory due to another addition of soil generation between the last episodes. So I'm having another spot where I get some sand produced, so that's no problem at all. Also, it's really a big upgrade in terms of iron plate production. I really noticed that speed upgrade with all my projects at this point. I really love it. So, since I now have the land units available, we may proceed. I'm not even aware if I'm having enough water to satisfy that whole algae farm complex here. So let's check that out. It's only 180 water. So many machines and only what? 1/6 of the not even a 1/6 of the output of a offshore pump being used for all that. It's quite efficient in terms of water usage, at least. So we're going to connect those, and then this is going to be the last upgrade I can do before I'll start duplicating inferior technology. And this is something I'm quite reluctant, because if I would start duplicating this whole facility another time, I would be not too happy with that, because up to that moment I'm having other options for that. So I'm speaking of the tier 2 boilers and tier 2 steam engines, which I really would like to operate. Their energy output is just, if I remember correctly, the double amount of what I'm having right now. But they're also needing way more fuel, so I guess I have to upgrade the whole facility by a lot. But that's future music. I don't know if you I don't think you could say that. This is some German saying. I just noticed that. Germans saying funny terms in English. Okay. So I'm going to output the LJ. Why not here? Why not here? Because there's already a cable network without end. And here, oh well, there's at least a spot where I could dump my brown LJ output in between. It would be some benefit. Yeah, we're going to do that. I have enough land available to expand that as well. Because I don't really need much here. I just need a few units to lead that belt along. So we're going to create a little opening here. Oops. And yeah, there we have it. If I would really go narrow there, and I plan to do that, this is already enough. So more transport belts. How many belts do we want? All the belts. Okay. So that's going to be the plan. I'm going to write that stuff over here, and from here on I'm going to do a little splitter magic, and we're going to filter out the brown LJ. And I'm going to do a little magic here as well. Going to connect that like this, and now I have the option to connect those. This should work, shouldn't it? Since this side is only letting the green ones through. Yeah, this should work. And there's only one complex connected to that. I should be okay with that. Alright. So next step will be, well, going to need a little land expansion here as well. And then we're going to do what? I would really much like to produce my stuff somewhere here, because I've made the decision that the wood pellets are getting produced at that spot for now. I mean, maybe I'm going to do that differently later, but that's something I want to do later and not now. So we're going to need what? One of these things is getting 5 assemblers for that and 6 assemblers for that. But I'm only having half to produce here. Here we're feeding 6 machines with 10 of those. So I would only get 3 of those. So bottom line, I'll need 8 assemblers. I'm going to produce 10. Just in case. And I want to connect the wood pellets here. Like, this is the planned input line. So what we're going to do will be, well, I'm going to try to build as narrow as possible. Let's try that. I don't know if this is going to be really good, but that's SeaBlock, keeping me on my toes and making me try out new stuff. I like that. I like that. Okay. So we're going to lead the LJ over here. Some underground belt necessary here, and now then, this is not really a good spot to do anything, because I can't output anywhere. If I do it like that, where could I output? Or, oh well, there is a way. They need 3 inserters each. Okay, so maybe we're going to do something really crazy here. I don't know if that's going to work, but I'm going to give it a try. And he's outputting on, we're outputting on 2. Okay, I need to try that once. So my basic idea would be to do it like that. Oh, well, as soon as the first inserters are done. There we go. So I'm inputting 3 here and outputting 2 there. And then we're having some... I mean, I should be able to do that, right? So if I go like this... The biggest expense would be here the effort of the underground belts this needs. But apart from that, I should be perfectly able to line up the 5 assemblers like that. Well, we're going to try that, huh? So, I'll need... I don't know if this is going to be really good, but I sure want to try. Okay. So, according to the sketch here, we're just going to copy that stuff. So that's 3. We need that 2 more times. Alright. So that's that. Wait a sec. So, since there's so much fuzz about it, I want to pack that belt evenly after that, because I'm pretty sure this will lead to some ramifications. But hey, at least I'll use my space efficiently here, if the power poles are with me. The small power poles I have to use could be destroying my efforts here, but I'm not sure if that's really going to happen. Okay, so that's going to be that. Okay, we're going to have the cellulose fiber recipe. And then next off, we're going to have 3 assemblers, which want some input here and some output there. We're having here a 2-1 mix-up that should be working. So they're having 2 inserters in longhand. Okay. Pretty sure I did that because of the speed. So I'm going to need more long-handed inserters for the output here. This is some really crazy setup. I'm going to copy that recipe there. Okay. So we're going to output into that direction, but whatever. Pickup tile position. There we go. So these now all have a proper pickup tile position. Wonderful. And these are the outputs. Getting led over to this place. Thus ultimately feeding the beast like that. Well, so this should work. I hope. It would be really cool if it would work. Okay. So, all that's now missing are a few inserters and a few more parts of power generation. So that's 2, but we need 4. There we go, that should be it. So that's, yeah, 16. Each of these arrays, like this is one array, each of these feeds 8, so half the amount should feed 4. If I didn't do any misassumptions there, I should be having enough wood pellets for everybody here. So next up we'll be creating enough land to make that stuff happen here, but that's quite easy. Man, that steam is everywhere. So going to need a new offshore pump for sure, but that's no news. Alright. And then that's my maximum power amount for now. the offshore pump to a new spot. Yeah, we're fixing that right away, but that was only a hot fix, so this is not really what I wanted to do. So let's fix that for real. There we go. Now we have it. Some more inserters, and then we're having the last piece of work done. Okay, that feels really, really good. Considering that this is one of the things you're doing during the first hour or two, during your average Factorio experience, depending on how experienced you are with the game, yeah, quite an achievement. Okay, now we are close to turning everything up and running. Okay. Let's do the inserters. And then it's about time to finish this chapter of energy pain. But the real troubling part about that for me is we're really still having not really a lot of buffer due to that. This is only generating a small extra amount of energy, so I'm already planning ahead with that in terms of this. So next up is that funky array. So yeah, just as I had assumed, I'm going to need more underground belts here to ensure the power supply of that array. Okay, so these guys are the output and these guys are the input, so I can free up space, like no. It's going to be like this, so we're having here another option. That's not going to be enough. I need one more. So this is one other output, so we're going to use that here. Oh, this guy's having no power too. This is a real bummer. Well, we're going to solve that with a quick little hotfix here. This is the easiest way to do it, and There we go. This will fix pretty much all of my problems in an instant. Alright. So let's check. These guys are outputting. Last of them is not getting any fuel yet, but it's working, it's working, it's working. Wonderful. Just want to check if the last guy's doing his job as well, because I kind of like did an odd job with him. The other ones are working as well. Oh, there's this little case that shouldn't happen. Because, yeah. Okay. Now we're on it. 7 megawatt. All this trouble for a few megawatts of power. But I do like what I did here, so honestly, this is I really expected to have more trouble to squeeze in the elements I would need for that, but obviously we're just fine. We're really just fine. Wonderful. Okay, so that's that. I've already set up a new project once I had the thing here running, and that's the ability to produce new metals. Like, right now we're limited to iron and copper, but we can also create rubite ore and bobmonium ore. Out of rubite ore and bobmonium ore, we're going to create new crushed materials, and out of these new crushed materials, we can then craft lead plates out of the rubite and tin plates out of the bobmonium, which will ultimately lead us to the ability of producing more advanced technologies. So, but I had another thing in mind for today, and that was to start some sort of automation, some sort of real automation. And this was science. I had the automation of science in mind, because I'm really tired of hand feeding everything here. And this is going to be my first step towards freedom. I mean, I already did some good job here with this stuff. But yeah, we're only scratching the surface here. We're really only scratching the surface here. Okay, so this place is now producing bricks. I still need to get used to that. I'm having enough wooden boards available. Wonderful. So there's nothing too funky going on about what I'm having in mind here. Just simple inserters and assemblers, and yeah. But it's going to be a great step. Small step for the Factorio players, a big step for Icon. Because honestly, getting this far, it took me a while. Alright. So there we go. I'm going to do a little belt equalizer here. Just to make sure everything is in order here. Let's duplicate that on this side here. going to produce this stuff here. This stuff there. 1, 2. Just to have the first parts of science automated here. It's so important to me. And I'm going to move that as necessary, of course. But for now, I'm only doing some really basic array here. This has no real future or such. It's just meant as a way to start science for this poor little base. There we go. Alright. My first little automated array. There we are. Look at it go. It's researching for me. But there are not really many technologies left which I can do only with the red technology packs alone. I think the single-use Atmos sets are the next step up. So, basic circuit boards, microcircuits, and tin plates. Micro wafers. Oh boy. Whoa. That sounds like high-tech. Compared to where we are, that's certainly high-tech. But, yeah. At least I'm now able to do a little science. That's really feeling good to me. Okay. So, I thought I would be finishing that power expansion a little bit quicker, but, well, right now you guys should be veterans of power generation in the Seablock mod. So, this is it. This is a completed beginner's array of power, consisting out of 90 Algae Farms. to power friggin' 20 boilers and 40 steam engines. Good lord. This mod pack is so insanely brutal. And over there we're having 40 electrolyzers to power 2 ore sorting machines, which are not really stressed out by that amount of machinery. We would need even more for that. But yeah. I'm past the earliest hump of the Seablock. I'm having automated science production. There we have it. So for the next few episodes, the plans are as follows. We're going to set up the production of bobmonium ore and your rubite ore, because I'm going to have a setup which will provide me enough mineral sludge to, well, it's going to be the question how much slag we will be putting up. I've calculated that I can run up to 5 filtration units with the amount of sulfuric acid we're producing, but more of that during the next episode. Yeah, slag production. Slag production results in energy in energy needs. So yeah. Bottom line, we're going to build more electrolyzers, and I'm pretty sure we're going to produce more algae farm complexes. But to set up the next further glimpse where we're headed, like in 2 or 3 episodes, will be I'm going to set up a second boiler array, but I'm going to build that up instantly with the advanced algae recipe. Probably we're even going to explore the options of the tier 2 boilers on this occasion, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to withstand the fuel demands of those things. But yeah, thanks for watching, my friends. Feel free to drop me a comment down below if you want to leave some words. I would be very happy about that. Of course, I would be happy with support in forms of likes or subscriptions or even just shares of this video if you want, but I don't mind if you don't. The most important part is you're enjoying this video. So I hope you're coming back for the next one, and until then, goodbye.